Forest, cocoa, shea nuts, gold, diamonds, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, copper, silver, salt, limestone, lithium, crude oil. These are all natural resources found in Ghana, a relatively small West African country with a population of about 31 million. Some of these natural resources have been extracted from the region currently called Ghana for eons. Yet, the country has so far not reaped the full benefits of these resources, as majority of them are exported in their raw state without any value addition. Gold has been mined in Ghana for centuries, even prior to colonization. Before the Portuguese first arrived in this region around 1400, inhabitants of the region had been mining and exporting large quantities of gold to North Africa. Yet, it was with the arrival of the Europeans that gold production in this region saw an astronomical increase. It was at this time that the region became known as Gold Coast. Given the large quantities of gold being produced in the region at the time, soon enough, the Gold Coast became one of the major producers of gold in the world. When the Gold Coast eventually became a British colony in the 1870s, the floodgates were opened for foreign companies to acquire gold concessions from chiefs in prospective areas. The Minerals Commission of Ghana says that by the beginning of the 20th century, modern gold operations had begun to pop up in many districts of southern Ghana. Currently, Ghana is still a top producer of gold in the world. Forbes reports that Ghana ranked as the largest producer of gold in Africa and the 6th in the world in 2020, producing 138.7 tons of gold. Gold, being the most important metal in the world, has a lot of uses. Apart from being used to make jewelry, small quantities of gold are used in cell phones, televisions, computers, and many other electronics. It is also minted into coins. Gold also has uses in the medical industry. For instance, it is used to treat some medical conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis. Given its importance, the global demand for gold is enormous. The global market for gold was estimated to reach $189.6 billion by 2022. Data from Ghana's central bank indicates that at the end of June 2022, Ghana earned $3.01 billion from gold exports. According to the Minerals Commission of Ghana, large-scale diamond production has been going on in Ghana since 1919, when diamonds were first discovered in a tributary close to the Brim River in present-day Eastern region. After this discovery, diamonds were also discovered in many parts of southern Ghana and especially in large quantities in Odan, Kede, and Akwatia in the 1920s. Given this, a lot of mining companies established operations in the area, and majority of diamond production has come from this area since then. The Minerals Commission of Ghana states that from the early 1950s to the late 1970s, Ghana was one of the major producers of diamonds in the world. According to the Ghana Chamber of Mines, 54,174 carats of diamonds were exported from Ghana in 2021. Apart from being used to make jewelry, diamonds also have industrial purposes. They are used to make blades for drilling and cutting and polishing other metals. They are also used to improve sound quality in audio equipment. The global diamond market size was valued at $89.18 billion in 2019 and is expected to reach $123.83 billion by 2030. Data from Ghana's central bank show that Ghana earned a revenue of $1.613 million in 2021 from its diamond exports. Manganese was also discovered in Ghana in 1914 in Nsuta, and Ghana has since then been a significant producer of the mineral resource in the world, producing over 1 million tons per year. Ghana is currently the 6th largest producer of manganese in the world. According to the Ghana Chamber of Mines, in 2021, Ghana produced a total of 3.336 million tons of manganese. This mineral resource is used in the production of batteries, iron, and stainless steel. The current global stainless steel market is valued at 119.8 billion US dollars and is expected to reach 166 billion US dollars by 2029. Bank of Ghana data indicates that in 2021, Ghana earned 134.81 million US dollars from manganese export. Bauxite was likewise discovered in Ghana in 1914, and mining of the mineral began in the 1940s at Awaso in the western region. Ghana is estimated to have 900 million tons of bauxite deposits in the regions of Awaso, Ninahin, and Chebi. According to the Ghana Chamber of Mines, a total of 839,000 tons of bauxite was produced in Ghana in 2021. Bauxite is used in manufacturing industrial products such as abrasives, cement, and chemicals. Laterite bauxite is used as a building material, while calcined bauxite is used in road construction. Bauxite is also used for large-scale aluminum production. Aluminium and aluminium-based alloys are used extensively in electronics, construction, vehicles, and utensils. The global aluminium market was valued at $148.1 billion in 2021 and is projected to reach $258.3 billion by 2031. Statistics from the Bank of Ghana show that in 2021, Ghana earned a total of $22.04 million US dollars in revenue from bauxite export. While Dutch and Basel missionaries are said to have planted cocoa in Ghana in 1815 and 1857 respectively, it was not until 1879 that cocoa was introduced to Ghanaian farmers and large-scale production began subsequently. Tete Kwashi, a native of Osu who worked as a blacksmith in Fernando Po in present-day Equatorial Guinea, returned to Ghana with cocoa pods in 1879 and established a cocoa farm at Ekuape Mampong in the eastern region. Farmers purchased pods from his farm to plant, and cultivation spread to other parts of the region. In 1886, Sir William Bradford Griffith, the then governor of Gold Coast, arranged for cocoa pods to be brought into Ghana from Sao Tome. Seedlings were raised at Ebri Botanical Garden and then distributed to farmers. Cocoa cultivation became widespread in the country, such that by 1911, Ghana had become the largest exporter of the cash crop, producing about 30 to 40% of the world's cocoa. Ghana was only overtaken by Côte d'Ivoire as the largest producer of cocoa in 1978 and has since remained the second largest producer of cocoa in the world. According to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana produced a total of 1,046,958 tons of cocoa beans in the 2020-2021 crop season. Cocoa beans is converted into cocoa liquor, cocoa butter, cocoa cakes, and cocoa powder. Processed cocoa products are used in the soap, cosmetics, and pharmaceutical industries. They are also used in the chocolate industry, which is the biggest end user of cocoa. The global chocolate industry is worth over 150 billion US dollars. West Africa is said to receive less than 6 billion US dollars out of this amount. According to data from the Bank of Ghana, at the end of June 2022, Ghana received a revenue of 1.38 billion US dollars from cocoa exports. For centuries, shea nuts have been harvested from shea trees in northern Ghana. It is estimated that there are currently about 94 million shea trees in Ghana, which produce around 60,000 tons of shea nuts each year. Ghana is the largest exporter of unrefined shea butter, which is extracted from shea nuts. In 2021, Ghana exported 11.84 million metric tons of shea butter. Shea butter is used in the food industry. It is also used as a base ingredient in cosmetic and pharmaceutical products, personal care, skincare, confectionery, soap manufacturing, and leather care. Global demand for shea butter is growing exponentially. The global shea butter market is estimated to reach 2.9 billion US dollars by 2025. According to the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in 2020, the export value of Ghana's shea butter was $113.7 million US. Salt has also been extracted in Ghana for centuries. The Adan Songo Pans, a 41,000-acre salt project, is the largest in Africa in terms of acreage. It has the potential to produce over 1.75 million metric tons of salt and become the largest salt-producing area in Africa. However, the total amount of salt produced in Ghana has remained relatively constant since 2013 at about 250,000 metric tons, even though the Ghana Export Promotion Authority says that Ghana as a whole has the capacity to produce between 2 and 2.5 million metric tons of salt annually. Apart from domestic users, salt has users in the oil and gas industry. It is used in oil drilling rigs to make them more efficient and safer. Salt is also used extensively in the chemical industry to produce different chemicals. It is also used in the processing of metals as it removes impurities. Salt as well has users in the pharmaceutical and textile industries. The global salt market size was estimated at about $28.5 billion US in 2020 and is projected to reach $36 billion US by 2026. Data from the Ghana Export Promotion Authority revealed that Ghana's export revenue from salt stood at $4.7 million US in 2018. Apart from these, some other natural resources were discovered quite recently. In 2007, Ghana discovered crude oil in commercial quantities in the western region of Ghana near the border of Côte d'Ivoire. Oil production then commenced in 2010. Ghana is believed to have between 5 and 7 billion barrels of oil reserves, making it Africa's 6th largest and the world's 25th largest country with proven oil reserves. By the end of 2020, Ghana exported over 67 million barrels of crude oil. Crude oil is refined into asphalt, bitumen, and lubricating oils. It is also refined into fuels including diesel, petrol, kerosene, liquefied petroleum gas, and liquefied natural gas. The global oil and gas market grew from $6.098 trillion in 2021 to $7.107 trillion in 2022. Data from the Bank of Ghana show that at the end of June 2022, crude oil exports earned Ghana $2.83 billion. In 2018, Ghana discovered lithium in commercial quantities and mining is expected to commence in 2024. Lithium has many uses in the industrial world as it is used in the production of batteries, ceramics, glass, and lubricating greases. Lithium also has uses in the medical industry as it is used to treat mental health disorders such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. The global lithium market was valued at $6.83 billion US in 2021 and is projected to reach $10 billion US by 2028. Atlantic Lithium, an Australian lithium exploration company, has estimated that Ghana could generate nearly $5 billion US in revenue from lithium mining over a duration of 12.5 years. Iron ore has also been discovered recently in the OT region. This is of a high grade. Yet, this is not the first discovery of iron ore in the country. The Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation indicates that iron ore was first discovered in Ghana in 1929 in the northern region and subsequently in the western region in 1963. Ghana's current total iron ore potential is estimated at $1.2 trillion. The global iron ore market size is estimated to be worth $358.89 trillion US in 2022. Iron ore can be transformed into steel, which is used in construction, transportation, energy infrastructure, and household appliances. According to the World Steel Association, the steel industry employs over 6 million people globally. The global steel processing market was valued at $656.31 billion US in 2021 and is projected to reach $762.21 billion US by 2028. Exporting natural resources without value addition is disadvantageous in a number of ways. First, Ghana is unable to generate enough foreign exchange through export. For instance, economic and financial data from Bank of Ghana reveal that in June 2022, the value of Ghana's total exports was at just $9 billion. Meanwhile, the country spends so much on importing finished products that it could have produced. Data from the Bank of Ghana indicates that between the period of June 2021 and June 2022, Ghana spent a total of $7.5 billion on imports, with oil imports dominating at $5.28 billion. Non-oil imports such as food and consumables stood at $2.2 billion. Also, according to the Observatory of Economic Complexity, in 2020, Ghana's top imports were refined petroleum, imported at $669 million, cars, imported at $492 million, rice, imported at $391 million, delivery trucks, imported at $283 million, and coated flat-rolled iron, imported at $273 million. These were imported mostly from China, the Netherlands, the United States, India, and the United Arab Emirates. Volta Aluminium Company Limited (VALCO) is an aluminium company based in Ghana and wholly owned by the government of Ghana. In spite of Ghana's huge bauxite deposits, VALCO imports processed alumina from the United States and Jamaica to produce aluminium, while all bauxite mined is exported out of the country. Second, in failing to invest in and industrialize Ghana's natural resources sector, the country loses out on millions of jobs that would have been created in the value chain. Instead, these jobs are indirectly exported abroad. Third, the lack of investment in Ghana's extractive industry has made it possible for multinationals to dominate the industry. Sadly, Ghana's Minerals and Mining Act leaves much to be desired. Ghana operates a tax royalty fiscal system where the primary way government generates revenue from mining is through corporate income taxes and royalties levied on revenue generated from production. The Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 794 puts the royalty rate application at 5% of gross revenue of minerals. However, select companies have signed updated mineral development agreements which institute a royalty rate that varies between 3 and 5% depending on the price of the mineral. This means that a chunk of revenue made from mining in the country goes to these multinational companies who keep their dollar earnings in offshore accounts. Given the obvious mismanagement and waste of Ghana's natural resources over all these years, the citizens of Ghana have sadly had to endure immense economic challenges in the midst of such abundant blessings. What steps can Ghana take in order to change its fortunes? We'll explore that in the second part of this video.